Hello and welcome to everyone. Today our guest is MMA fighter Teejay Britton. So Teejay, can you please say a few words about yourself so we can continue with the interview? Go for it, please.
Absolutely. How you guys doing? My name is Teejay Britton. I live in Joplin, Missouri. I fought for LFA. I fought for Bellator, my recent fight. I just defeated Gabriel Vaga, who is Bellator and Glory World Kickboxing Champion. Beat him in MMA, and I'm just looking for anything that comes my way. I've been fighting for about 8 or 9 years now. I also ran professional track, professional basketball, and also a youth minister as well here in the United States. And so I'm just blessed, man. I love to stay active. Looking to fight here in the next probably month and a half, 2 months. And glad to be out and about training again.
Outstanding. When did you start training MMA?
I started training MMA about 10 years ago. I started off boxing. I played professional basketball. And so I started boxing to stay in shape. And then kind of fell in love with boxing. I would watch people do jiu-jitsu. Didn't know what it was. Tried that one time, fell in love with it. So I had a pretty good amateur boxing career. I trained with some of the best in the world at the time. And so they all tell me, man, you're talented. I got into jiu-jitsu, started moving up ranks, and then fell in love with MMA, done it one fight, man, and been hooked ever since. I actually stopped playing basketball to fight, so I love it.
Excellent. Can you please elaborate your nickname?
Bad news. So I'm 6'4". I fought at 135 and 145. But I got my nickname really from boxing. I came in one time, I was going to fight in Chicago, Illinois, and I got down there, the guy backed out. Then I went to Kansas City, Missouri, and had another boxing match, and the guy backed out. So finally a guy decided to fight me where my hometown was. And when I walked in and we done our weigh-ins, and I stared down, and the guy looked at me. He just shook his head, and his coach looked over, and my coach was like, man, that guy's bad news, man. And then after the fight, he said it's the reason why no one wanted to fight me. And so my coach just kind of stuck. So even throughout my amateur career, I would have to travel from Missouri to like Las Vegas or Washington to California to Oklahoma to fight because no one wanted to fight me. So when I was 2-0 as an amateur, I was fighting guys 8, 9, 10 fights because nobody wanted to fight me. So I wanted to fight the best. And so that's kind of how it was. It was bad news when your name showed up on the card with my name. It was bad news for him. So that's kind of where it went. And my trainer gave it to me and it's stuck with me ever since.
Excellent. So I assume your fighting style is mostly related to boxing from what I've seen, or it's kind of modified?
Yeah, I love to stand up. I really like to stand up and bang. It's kind of hard because I'm 6'4". So I don't get hit often, but when I do get hit, I get hit hard. And that's what people don't understand, you know. They say, use your range and use your length. And I'm saying, I'm hitting these guys. Every fight I've been in, I've always doubled, sometimes triple how many times I hit the other guy. But as you know, you follow sports, you're good at what you do. When those little guys get on the inside, they throw hard as they can because they know they're not going to be able to hit me that many times. And so the few times I ever got caught, it was me winning. Little guy gets in and throws a haymaker to catch me. And so we went back to the drawing board. We kind of changed up our style a little bit. So now, instead of being more of a stand-up in boxing, I feel like I'm more versatile. I feel like I've changed up my game plan back to what I was before and just being a well-rounded fighter instead of just being a straight, more of a boxer stand-up guy. I'm more well-rounded now. So I'm excited for what's coming my way.
Excellent. Really, really excellent. So, can you remember now your first amateur fight? How did it look?
You know, it was, I think it was a lot like anybody's first amateur fight. It was a lot faster than I wanted to go. It was a lot sloppy, very sloppy. But, you know, I think for me, I've been on the big stage since I was a kid. I played on top teams. I ran track. I ran professional track. I played professional basketball. So getting in front of the people, I had no problem with. I think the biggest thing I remember the most was when the cage door shut and locked for the first time. Man, that lock sounded so loud. I remember looking over at the guy, and he was sitting there smiling. And at that time, he was 6-0, and that was my first amateur fight. And we touched gloves, and it got real when he hit me. When he hit me, I didn't panic. I took him down, and I ended up winning the fight in the first round, the first minute and a half. I think everybody was just so surprised because no one knew who I was. I was known for a basketball player. This guy was 6-0 with 5 knockouts, and for me to take him out in the first minute and a half in the amateur fight, people knew I was something special at that time.
Excellent. Now let's discuss your first professional fight. How did you feel heading into your first professional fight, and how was it actually? You finished pretty much quickly.
It just seemed like yesterday, really. But we sold out the crowd. It was an amazing atmosphere. I think I sold almost 400 tickets. It was crazy. The support that I get is just unbelievable. And I came out. I think that one I was a little nervous because I was fighting. I represented a place called Camp Quality, and it's a place where kids with cancer go. And so a lot of those kids came to support me and watch. And so I wasn't fighting for myself that fight. I was fighting for them. And so I think I put a little bit more pressure on myself. But I thrive in that pressure. I love that pressure. And so that was probably the first and only fight as an MMA fighter in my last fight that I actually got kind of nervous. But then I fought a very well fight. I mean, I fought very well, and I ended up getting a win in the first round. And the crowd went crazy. I got a little emotional. At that time, that was I think it was the third professional sport I'd done. My family was there. So it was emotional, and it was a good experience. So I loved it. And the kids they're all cheering. I think we all shed a few tears together. So it was a good night.
It was great. I got to bet on it. So how did you choke out? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is his name Lonnie Toole Jr.? Your second fight.
My second fight.
Yeah.
So so that fight, that guy is more of a wrestler. He was a higher jiu-jitsu level than I was. So I think we kind of, it was a little animosity between both of us. I don't take fights personally. When people talk stuff, I feel like it's a weakness. I feel like they do it to try to hide their insecurities. And man, he talked more than most people did, and so I wanted to beat him in his own game, kind of like George St. Pierre used to do, guys. And people say this guy's he's gonna outbox George, and George St. Pierre comes out and outboxes them. And so I came out, threw a few punches. I think I got a takedown if I'm not mistaken, and then I took his back, and then I ended up choking him out. So that was pretty good. That one was from our cornermen. People that doubted us that we didn't have ground game. So that was pretty special fight as well.
Excellent. Can you discuss your fight against Kelly Bacon?
Yeah, that one was crazy. I got to go back to my hometown in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, and the cool thing about it is they had that fight pretty much for me. So there's a lot of times I fight. I fought on national television a few times, but a lot of people where I'm from weren't able to go. So I wanted to go back to where I'm from and give back to my community. And so we done that. We went back, and so the atmosphere was electric. It was crazy. It was amazing. And I knew it was one of those nights, like any fighter can tell you, some nights it just feel like it's your night. And even when I was warming up, my boxing coach, Ryan Mossberg from Mossberg Boxing, he told me, he said, "You're going to finish this fight with a knockout. You're hitting harder. You look smoother." And I remember the first time coming out when I threw a jab and I hit him, he looked back at me and I could tell in his eyes that he didn't want to be in there with me. And so I put my foot on the gas, no brakes. I went forward and I got a knockout at my hometown. My family was there. It was amazing. It was an amazing feeling. Probably one of the best feelings I've had in an MMA fight.
Assuming you're a boxer, do you have a favorite strike? And I think it's a punch, right?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, I think mine, the one I use most will be jab, but I love throwing an uppercut. I know I have a lot of confidence in my uppercut. I know if I land it, then they're not going to stand too much longer. So I have the most confidence in my uppercut.
How did you finish Robert Mitchell?
So I got to fight in front of 15,000 people on that one. That was in the men's conference in Springfield, Missouri. I actually bumped up a weight class and a half for him. He was a lot bigger than I was, but he wanted to fight. I wanted to fight, and so we wanted to make it happen, and we did. And the promoters came together, put a good venue together, and you know, that's a guy I wanted to stay standing because he was bigger than I was. We got to the ground. I landed some ground and pound, and I believe I hurt him before he hit the ground. And you know, you and I both know, someone's hurt when they go to the ground. It doesn't matter how hard they hit, it doesn't matter how big they are, it doesn't matter what belt you are in jiu-jitsu, it don't matter your wrestling background. When you're on the ground and you're hurt, you're going to cover up. And so he tried to cover up, and I continued. I felt like I was going to take his back, but I stepped back and I ended up throwing some punches and caught him, and he went out for a second. I continued to hit him till the referee jumped in. I was always taught continue to swing till the referee stops the fight, and that's what I did. And yeah, I had to learn from that.
What's the feel to be the tallest bantamweight or featherweight in the world? You said you fought both at 135 and 145. So how's the feel? I mean, when people see you, how do you feel? I mean, does it mean more attention or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It gets me a lot of attention. I mean, I've had videos I've had like 4 videos get to 1 million views. You know, people just can't believe that I fight at that weight class. I tell them it's crazy to me because I get to 135 or 145, but the next day I'm back up to 165, 170. And so people think that I walk around at that weight. I'm like, no, I just cut down to 135, 145, but the next day I put my weight back on very well. It's all the same. They all look the exact same. When I walk in, they look at me like, holy cow, how is this possible? But then the next day they see that I put on 15, 20, 25 pounds, and those looks begin to change a little bit, you know, and I love it. I mean, I love the attention. You know, for me, they know that length is everything. When you have length and speed, it changes the fight game. So you can't fight me like you fight everybody else. You got to come in to a dog battle with me, and so that's what I try to take it to.
What can you say about your first professional defeat?
My first loss. I haven't lost in like 3 or 4 years, so it's very humbling. You know, sometimes in life we take things for granted. You know, I'm a healthy young man. I rarely get hurt. I've broken my hand a few times, but I don't even count that as an injury anymore. But when I was fighting that fight on national television, I threw a knee, and my knee just landed the wrong way, dislocated my kneecap, and maybe I should have stopped fighting. But I'm in there to fight, and people spend money to watch me fight, put on the show, and so I tried to continue to fight, and I just got caught. I was fighting a heavy-handed guy. I got caught, and that was it. You know, that was my first fight. So then my next fight after that, against Solo Hadley, was totally different. I had a great camp. I was very healthy. Everything flowed good. It looked good. I came out the first minute and a half. I mean, I was definitely winning the fight. I broke his nose. Gave him cutting, had to get 6 stitches, and I was winning the fight. And I got careless. He hit me early. He threw as hard as he could hit me earlier, and I just didn't think he had the power in that moment to put me away. And I took 2 of his best shots, and I felt that when I done that I had seen his best, and so I just got too comfortable and complacent, and I started throwing jab. I wanted to kind of put on the show a little bit, and I was doing that, and then he threw an overhand. I just never saw it coming, and it landed, and it knocked me out, and that was humbling for me. That one was more humbling than anything, just because I learned, don't play with your food, you know?
Yeah.
Go ahead and put him away fast. I should have put him away, you know?
What can you say about your Bellator debut, Gabriel Varga?
Oh man, that was fun, you know. Fighting the #1 kickboxer in the world, and me being a 6'4" stand-up guy, you know, I like that one because that was challenging. You know, I coach AAU basketball. I coach young boys and young girls, and I tell them all the time about challenge and never be afraid, and you know, and hard work and dedication. And so I felt like I got to preach to myself a lot on that one. I had to change up everything he was, if he's a world champion, then I knew going that fight he was a better striker than I was. I knew he was gonna be a better kicker than I was, and I felt like I was more well-rounded than he was, and so I took that confidence with the tip of my shoulder. Listen, I don't cheat myself, man. I don't cut corners. I work hard. I go above and beyond. I've never missed weight. I've always came in with the same mentality to finish a fight. I'm not trying to go 3 rounds. I'm trying to knock you out. But with that fight right there, I definitely didn't want to go to his game plan. I wasn't trying to beat George St. Pierre on that one. I wanted to throw, the hard jab, establish distance, close the distance if I wanted to, and then and change levels and take him down, take him to deep waters, and that's what I done. And I felt like I wore on him. I felt like the pressure was different, and I felt like he underestimated how strong I was. And once I got him down, he couldn't get back up. And I knew once I bloodied him up and as eyes started swelling up, when the referee stepped in and asked, that, hey, you got to continue to fight, I'm going to stop the fight, my confidence skyrocketed. I would have loved to finish the World Kickboxing Champion. That would have been great on my resume. But, man, I'll take a win however I can take a win. These young guys, they want to come in and get a knockout all the time. I'm more seasoned, I believe, and I'll take a win however way I can take a win.
Considering that you're a guy with the greatest reach in the division, how do you feel when you're taken on the ground, when you have to fight on your back? Is it an advantage or disadvantage to you because of your big reach?
I think both. I think it's how you look at it, These guys that I fight in my weight class, they're 5'6", 5'7", 5'8". The tallest guy was 5'9", 5'10". And so I'm going to be a lot longer. So me shooting a triangle, me doing a reverse or a sweep is going to be a lot easier because of my length. But at the same time, these long arms, man, they get caught in arm bars. I got to watch out for heel hook and leg locks. So I got to be more cautious when I'm on the ground to make sure that my hands are not on the mat, to make sure I don't get caught in anything for me being lazy. So I think it goes 50-50. It's about halfway. It goes both ways, I believe.
Would you like to add something to this interview? Is there something we missed? Would you like to greet someone?
Man, I just want to thank all my, first of all, I want to thank my wife and my family. I think I sacrificed the most from them. I got an awesome, amazing core around me that helps me be able to do what I love to do in my dreams. I got a ton of support. I want to thank all my sponsors who make these things possible. My traveling, my diet, just everything. They just support me, my gym time, everything. And so I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing without them. I love to thank my gym, Victory Industries Sports Complex, for all they do and what they bring to the table. And Dr. Greg for making sure I stay healthy. Dr. Grantham for making sure my bones stay intact. And most important, I want to thank God for the opportunity to give me the talent that I have and the pedestal He's put me on to be a light in this dark world. So I'm just thankful, man. I'm blessed, and I'm ready to go in the next month or two. We had a phone call right on the big stage, but I feel like right now wasn't the time to do it. But I do know I'm expecting a phone call in the next month and a half, 2 months, and I promise them I'll be ready and I'll be ready to put on the show.
Thank you so much for this interview. I will now go to sleep and start creating video tomorrow, so you can expect it tomorrow during your day. I hope it will be your morning or day, depends on when the video is created. I will start creating it at my morning.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much. I hope we will watch you in the UFC next time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Bless.
Goodbye.